In agriculture, we all know somebody, right, that has sadly taken their life. You feel like, somehow we missed it. And it feels like we somehow failed them.
Farmers work hard to bring food from the fields to our table, but farmers face a lot of challenges, from droughts, high costs of seed and fertilizer, to falling commodity prices around the world. This can lead to high stress and a suffering mental health for workers in the field of agriculture. A new documentary is raising awareness about the strain, the fear, and the shame farmers are facing right now, and what's being done to help them so that they're not suffering alone. The film is titled Deep Rooted and will be shown to the public next week at Ag Days in Brandon. Joining us now is the Executive Director of the Do More Agriculture Foundation, Merle Massie. Good morning, Merle.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, this is something farmers don't usually talk about, is it?
It's true. It's what I grew up in a rural community. I grew up on a farm, and it certainly wasn't anything that was ever whispered. Or if it was whispered, it was, around the coffee table or around the corner or behind closed doors. It's only in the last few years that we're starting to see the conversation come out into the open, in part because of the work of some of the entities who are coming together next week to help screen the documentary Deep Rooted. A lot of us were also involved in creating the documentary and working with the filmmakers as they moved through those very, very difficult stories.
And what are farmers facing, and why do they tend to try to do it alone?
Farming has always, had that tough it out culture, right? Just pull up your socks, pull on your boots, get out there and get the work done. And that can push you through in a lot of ways. What it can also do, though, is that it can push you into that silence and shame, right? I can't do this alone. Something's wrong with me. I need help. This isn't a good thing. And that silence and fear and shame, what it does is that it stops people from reaching out and getting help when it could actually benefit them even more. So oftentimes, if they wait right until a crisis, it's a real problem.
Right. Now, this documentary came together with the support of your foundation. Who else was involved with this project?
There were a lot of people who were involved in the project. One of the things I love about this documentary is that they went around Canada and they were specifically asking for farmers who had a story around their own mental health struggles, but that had never told their story publicly. And so what we see, they allowed their stories to be told on camera for the first time. So it's very raw, it's very moving. And so it's one of those documentaries that when you're sitting there, you feel like you're right outside with the farmer, having that conversation with for the first time. A lot of the people who are going to be with us next week for the screening were actually involved in the creation of the documentary, including Dr. Brianna Hagan, who's a major scientist in this area, has done a lot of research in this area. She'll be one of the panelists. Manitoba's own Jerry Friesen, who goes by the name of the Recovering Farmer and is the CAO of Manitoba Farmer Wellness, will be on hand on the panel, and Bryce Fisher, who's a Manitoba farmer, and he's a research assistant at the Centre for Critical Studies of Rural Mental Health. When we screen these documentaries, we also want to make sure that we have a clinician on hand, if someone who's watching the documentary needs a little extra help and support. We have Tracy Young, who's the mental health clinician with the Manitoba Farmer Wellness Program, and she'll be on hand as well. And she's also a lead researcher at the Canadian Centre for Critical Studies in Rural Mental Health.
Okay, well, that sounds like you're ready for next week. What do you want farmers who may be struggling right now to know?
That help is available, that I would like them to know that talking about it helps. Keeping it in is the very worst thing that you can do. Talk to your partner, talk to your employees, talk to your family, talk to your doctor, talk to your neighbors. What we're seeing is that this conversation is coming out more and more and more. More and more people are comfortable with this conversation, happy to help. And that's often the first spark. When a farmer reaches out to someone around them and says, you know what, I'm not doing that well. Something's up with me. Can we talk about it? Oftentimes that blows open the doorway and the conversation flows. Right. And it's very helpful.
Well, Merle, thank you so much for sharing this with us. Again, if you want more information, we have a link on our website.